So that was one of the initial pain points that I look back like 4 or 5 years ago that I just grabbed onto, and I was like, you know what? I need to prove myself. Like I need to prove it to myself, my own self worth. I need to create my own self worth because this whole idea that that the world's pushing, where it's like you are enough the way you are, and just like shove that in the garbage. Like
Yeah.
that's a load of baloney.
Right.
Like you got to earn it, especially as a man. We see that more often than not than with women. But it's like we need to earn our way in our industry, fitness, mentality, spirituality. Like there's all these categories where you can put in the work and you can level up, and life becomes a game. You know. And at that time, I was just like, I feel like I am negative level 10. You know, like didn't feel like I looked good, didn't feel like I was in shape, and I wasn't in shape, and wasn't smart, none of this stuff. But there was that seed, the seed I talked about earlier, where it's like, you know what, I believe that I can become something if I try hard enough, and if I let that seed grow, I can make something happen of myself.
Yeah.
I can do something that makes me proud of myself, and then I can do something that makes my parents proud of me, and makes specific people in my life proud of me, and they'll show love to me, and that'll mean a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of the initial pain points, and then of course the pain points change. Whether it's, I mean, we've had this conversation multiple times. Haters, we love that.
Yeah.
Even to this day, when people say, "Oh, I don't know if I do that," or "Oh, I don't know if you can do that," or you can just tell like the way they look at you. You guys know. Some of you know. you know. You'll be having a conversation with someone, you'll be like, "Oh, that's great," and you're like, you can just tell they're looking at you, and they're like, "Wait," it's those moments that you lock in your brain, and you use those, like, almost that negative emotion that you pull from that person, whether you felt it or they said something or you hear about something. You'll use that to just work so much harder because
Right.
you're like, I want to prove to myself, but I want to prove all of them wrong.
Yeah.
And one of the specific stories I always think about is when Michael Jordan made up that one guy. It was during one of the finals games, I think like 1997 or something like that, when one of the guys came up to him after they had defeated him on like game 3 and said, like, "Nice game, Mike." Like that's all he said. He like put his arm around him and said, "Nice game, Mike." He made that up.
And that's from the documentary,
Yeah.
right? That's the documentary.
It's from the documentary The Last Dance.
Yeah.
Like go watch it if you haven't, because it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Worth watching. I don't watch TV, but that's worth watching.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, he made that up. Everyone thought that was legit, and the next game he absolutely destroyed his competition. And he used that as fuel, but then they find out years later that Mike made that up in his brain, that guy had said that to him, but it still propelled him to do so much. So even if people don't say something, you can almost like make up that they could be doubting you, they could be talking bad about you, they could be like scheming for you to fail, and you're like, I'm going to show you. So I think, I mean, in any entrepreneur's success, I think there has to be that negative energy that propels you to take things to the next level. Because if you don't have any sort of like negative impulse or negative memories or feelings that you can channel into like forward moving energy, I don't think positive energy is powerful enough to get you through some of the hurdles you have to go through.
Wow.
I just don't think
That's
you can.
powerful.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody say that way.